This is my 3rd year since transmigrating, and my system has finally arrived, albeit late. Dear host, your husband is currently on his way to the capital for business. Please maintain your character during this period, and wait for the plot to unfold. Embarrassed, I opened my lifeless eyes. My husband is on his way to the capital. Then who is the person in my bed? What's going on? Are you feeling unwell? My stiff body caught the attention of the person beside me. His strong arm wrapped around me, pulling me entirely into his embrace, and all I could smell was his scent. Because I had just arrived in this world, I was injured when I drowned and lost my sight, and my body often felt cold. My husband would always warm my body, whether it was summer or winter. He always liked to hold me tightly in his arms to keep me warm, and I loved that sense of security, but what the system said has completely confused me. So, you mean, my husband is actually the male lead of this world, the wounded general found in our small village? 5 months ago, he regained his memory and already returned to the capital to handle his business. Then, who is this person beside me now? I basked in the sun, blinking my eyes. I'm not completely blind. Right now, I should be considered extremely nearsighted. Everything in front of me is blurry, with large patches of color smudged together. Even if someone is right in front of me, I can't make out who it is. The system still seemed dumbfounded by this plot twist, so shocked it couldn't even speak. After several unanswered calls, I realized this system is useless. It only confirmed my transmigration into a historical romance novel. The male lead is a renowned general engaged to the heroine before the war. However, he was ambushed, fell into a ravine, and washed up at a mountain village where a local girl rescued him. Seeing his fine clothes and jade pendant, she sensed his high status and plotted accordingly. She hoped to win him over, but when his men found him, he still felt nothing for her. Unwilling to let go, she used her life-saving act to make him take her from the village. It was a classic online story trope. The victorious fiancé returns from war with another woman. Then the rival schemes, the leads misunderstand each other, and finally, the rival meets a tragic end while the couple lives happily. But a system delay derailed the plot early on. As the rival, I panicked after transmigrating and tripped over the unconscious male lead, falling into the river. I hit my eye on a rock and went blind. If he hadn't woken up, I would have drowned immediately. Yet, the male lead still felt nothing for me. I thought about it. In my memories, the man practically loved me to death every night. Could that actually be a sign of hatred? Plus, he was the one who saved me from the water and seemed to want to repay me for saving his life. I'm suspicious of this plot, and I don't think the storyline falling apart is my fault. Why isn't the system, which is so flustered and exasperated, to blame? The man beside me in bed even changed his pet name for me from wife to darling. Don't you feel that something's off at all? I spread my hands. No, I don't feel anything. Now I'm telling you, your bed partner has been swapped out, and you didn't notice a thing? Isn't he still the same muscular guy with 8-pack abs? He even eats apples with such vigor. Isn't this little bit of pleasure the reason I'm alive? Does it really matter if it's the same person? I don't even know what he looks like. How much feeling do you expect me to have for him? After learning about the plot, I didn't have any reaction at all. I just went on living as usual. The system told me from the very beginning that I had to maintain my character and follow the storyline, but my attitude wouldn't change much anyway. I'm blind. I can't see anything, so what do you expect me to do? Besides, I'm not an actor. I don't know much about ancient times either. My only impression of this place is that feudal society wasn't very friendly to women. Even if this is a fictional ancient story, it probably wouldn't be much better. And yet, you expect me to somehow set the plot straight? I'd be lucky just to muddle through and survive. For all I know, I might end up drowning in a river one day just because I can't see where I'm going. The system asked, "Don't you know history? Are you a science student?" I shook my head. A liberal arts student who doesn't know the past? I'm an art student. A blind art student in ancient times. What a coincidence. What use is that? I can't be like those novel heroines who rise from supporting roles to leading ladies or change their fate. My life is hard enough. Next time you systems pick someone, pick better. The system stayed silent as I argued. Come on, you're blind and bound to me. Now I'm blind too. Let's just get this life over with. The plot's a mess, so let me enjoy this. We're all in the same boat now, so my relationship with you is definitely stronger than yours with those main characters, right? The system sighed, its tone carrying a hint of resignation, as if saying, well, it is what it is. Fine, since you have eyes, tell me, do you think this guy I'm with right now is handsome or not? Get lost. I've no clue who's next to you. All I know is the plot, and people don't match. Because of you, the story's a mess. The male lead was found, recovered his memory, and returned early. This system doesn't know who he is, but he did say the word handsome. His looks are enough. Maybe I unknowingly slept with the big boss. I won't tell the system yet. It'll go crazy. Darling, I'm back. My husband is back from his fake hunt. I acted sweet while waiting for dinner. Hey system, aren't you good at pretending? I didn't give myself away at all. When I got back, everything I showed was genuine emotion. No acting at all, damn it. Someone outside called for me while I was lounging on the recliner, but I didn't respond at all. Are they seriously expecting a blind person like me to get up and open the door for them? What a joke. What if I trip over a stone and die while walking? I ate the fruit that the man had cut for me, listening to the sound of his footsteps as they moved from the kitchen to the gate of the yard. In my heart, I sighed to the system. In this life, I only have two kinds of fate. Either I accept my lot, or I die early. What that means is, if I can't enjoy a good life, I might as well die early. Maybe I'll get to enjoy it in my next life. He's been gone for so long and still hasn't come back. It definitely isn't a normal person looking for him. System, can you tell me what's happening outside? The system was silent for a moment, but eventually resigned itself. Your wild man is outside talking to another man. Talking about what? Silence again. After a moment, two men's voices suddenly sounded in my ear. Their voices were both completely unfamiliar. I was stunned for a moment. Well, turns out this man has been disguising his voice around me. Jiang Helian is still in the capital at the moment. Yes, you had your subordinate send people to keep him occupied. Right now, he's still tangled up in the capital and won't be able to return for a while. Give him a bit more trouble. Don't let him come back too soon. Your Highness, when will you return to the capital? It's not proper for you to stay with that woman for so long. The system and I widened our eyes at the same time. Your Highness, that's impossible! The system shouted, its voice cracking. Before I could think any further, another voice came through. The person who had been addressed as Your Highness spoke in an even deeper tone, as if he had paused to ponder for a moment. He finally said, I have plans. With Jiang Helian in the tower, she is the perfect leverage. If she falls for her, Jiang Helian is no longer a threat. His subordinate praised, Your Highness is wise. How noble, I thought, flipping him off. 5 months in, and you still won't drop the disguise. If I see you, you're going vegetarian for a week. Still talking tough? I eavesdropped on their idle chatter. I felt sleepy, and my internal system went haywire. It makes sense, though no names were mentioned. Since the crown prince is involved with the male lead, the villain must be Xiaoqinglin. I slept with the male lead and the system crashed. Now there's a villain too. This plot is so derailed, nothing can fix it. But when did Xiaoqinglin and Jiang Helian switch places? I tried to remember, but my blindness made it difficult. It was 5 months ago when Jiang Helian saved someone in the mountains. She had gone hunting and was gone so long, I feared the worst. In those times, wild beasts were a constant threat, and as a blind person, I knew I couldn't survive alone if something happened to her. I waited anxiously until the insects began chirping and the courtyard gate finally creaked open. Then I heard her voice say, Wife, I'm back. I hurried out of the room. After living here for so long, I was already very familiar with the house. Jiang Helian rushed in and held me tightly in her arms as if she wanted to merge me into her very bones and blood. She did this every time she came back from hunting in the mountains. Why are you back so late today? Only then did Jiang Helian seem to remember something and said, Wife, I ran into a tiger in the mountains. Fortunately, someone happened to pass by and lent me a hand, but he got injured because of it, so I brought him back with me. It took a bit more time on the way. Only after she said this did I react, a beat slower than usual. It seemed as if the air was filled with the scent of blood. I had barely met that person. All the treating, saving, and administering of medicine was handled entirely by Jiang Helian. The first time we actually spoke was long after he had come to our home. I had almost forgotten there was an outsider living with us. He greeted me softly, murmuring, Madam, I am blind. Of course, I had no way of knowing what kind of look he gave me. How brazen that was. Xiaoqinglin must have already climbed into bed before Jiang Helian had even left. Jiang Helian and I lived together in this small wooden cabin for 3 years, and our livelihood depended entirely on her going up the mountain to hunt and selling the game at the market. The closer it got to winter, the busier she became, because she had to buy me winter clothes, repair the house, and prepare firewood and store up food. In this remote countryside, heavy snow often sealed off the mountains in winter. That day, I waited a long time, but Jiang Helian still hadn't returned from town. The snow on the eaves piled up thicker and thicker, until it finally collapsed part of the roof. The noise startled me and her, and still shaken I called out for Jiang Helian. The door to the room was pushed open. I thought she had come back, and without thinking, I threw myself into her arms, trembling as I called her name. After a moment of silence, that person gently pulled me out of his embrace. Madam, it's me, he said. I asked, Jiang Helian hasn't come back yet? He replied no and told me to get some rest early, saying he would only fix the storeroom after the snow stopped. That night, I curled up under the covers. My body was cold, and the bedding never seemed to warm up. Jiang Helian's body was always warm. In the past, he would warm the bed for me, letting me put my icy hands and feet on him, holding me close in his arms to keep me warm. Even in the coldest winter days, I never felt cold, but tonight he didn't come back. Half asleep, I felt as if someone was watching me, and I instinctively called out Jiang Helian's name. Just when I thought it was my imagination, a voice sounded in the room, muffled, but I didn't care anymore. I was freezing to death. Why did you only just come back? I'm so cold. Hurry up and get in bed. Warm me up. He seemed stunned, then clothes rustled as he undressed. Removing his outerwear, he awkwardly lay beside me. I snuggled into his arms, but touching his ceremonial robe, I felt puzzled. His body was usually warm, so why stay dressed tonight? Was it the cold? At my words, he stiffened. Initially, these men prioritized power and career. To them, a village woman was just a game. The system alerted, in bed with the villain again, and I lost it. Now that the male lead has returned to the capital, he'll be all lovey-dovey with the female lead, showering her with affection. He doesn't even think about you anymore. You've been gone for so long, and he hasn't even bothered to come back and see you. In my heart, I just made some perfunctory noises to get by, feeling as sharp as a needle. He's probably already forgotten about you, and is busy building his career in the capital. Just wait, the villain will go back sooner or later too. He even said it himself. He's just using you to deal with the male lead. I yawned, and Xiaoqinglin's hand slid onto my waist. Want to get up? He asked. I replied absent-mindedly with a non-committal, What do you want for breakfast? I'll make it for you. Just something simple. All right. Xiaoqinglin got out of bed, casually put on his own clothes, then came over to help me get dressed, put on my shoes and socks, washed my face for me, and even brushed my hair and drew my eyebrows. I thought to myself, he really is a career-oriented man. With skills this practiced, he could easily make a living as a nanny in the modern world. While we were eating, someone called from outside the door again. It seemed to be the same subordinate from a few days ago. Their voices were still transmitted to my ears by the system. His Highness the Crown Prince said that the young general is on his way here on horseback. I pinched my throat and said sarcastically, he must have already forgotten about me. The male lead coming back is definitely not for you. The system stubbornly left this remark, then quickly fell silent and shut itself off. But the conversation between the two outside my door still didn't stop. Xiaoqinglin was silent for a while, then said, hold him back. If you have to, shoot him down with your bow. The subordinate also fell silent for a moment, then said, Your Highness, this might not be appropriate. The young general is someone we want to win over. What if we accidentally kill him with an arrow? Xiaoqingling replied, he's not that easy to kill, just don't let him find his way here. He paused, then added, or maybe hit him on the head with a rock and see if we can make him lose his memory again. Even I fell silent at this point, even though they couldn't see me. I could feel that subordinate's confusion and breakdown from the strange silence. I gave the heir the middle finger again. Weren't they supposed to use me to keep him in check? If they make me lose my memory, how am I supposed to keep anyone in check? Xiaoqingling swallowed hard, and all the plans he had been about to confess instantly vanished from his mind, replaced by a single thought, I'm doomed. He said he was a very conservative person. What if he found out that the husband he'd cared for over the past 5 months and spent every night with was actually someone else? He would definitely hate him to death. I continued, saying, I'm also someone who tends to go along with the crowd. If most people think something is serious, I wouldn't be able to accept it either. Xiao Qinglin was drenched in sweat, and the heart that had been full of hope was now shattered to dust. If what he had done were ever exposed, he would surely be condemned by everyone. So, he crossed my line. If Xiao Qinglin hadn't asked under extreme stress, his cleverness might have spotted the loopholes in my words. But he was too nervous. Hearing an answer contradicting his heart, he stopped listening, filled with despair. It was over. He'd be a stand-in forever. His only impulse was falling for another man's wife. 5 months ago, Jiang Helian suddenly regained his memory and rushed to the capital, unable to even say goodbye to his wife, Shen Junyu. He could only entrust Xiao Qinglin, who was present at the time, to temporarily look after his wife. Xiao Qinglin agreed with a calm expression, and even hesitated for quite a while, so as not to arouse Jiang Helian's suspicion. Jiang Helian even took the opportunity to offer him additional benefits. In the end, Xiao Qinglin turned around and took everything. He accepted the benefits and even slept with his wife. I could sense Xiao Qinglin's nervousness from his tense body. Ma Er chuckled. You really believed it? I was just joking. Or did you actually do something you feel guilty about? Xiao Qinglin shook her head repeatedly, then, remembering that her wife couldn't see her, spoke up again to say no, but she couldn't bring herself to laugh. Every joke carried a hint of sincerity. Back then, she had even joked with Jiang Helian about stealing his wife and almost got hit by her. Now the boomerang had come back to hit her instead. He couldn't laugh at all. All he could do was pray that his subordinates would handle things cleanly and decisively, and that it would be best if Helian lost her memory again. However, things didn't go as he wished. As it turned out, even if the crown prince himself prayed to the heavens, it would be useless. What was meant to happen would still happen, and it would come all the more suddenly. In the end, the system's words snapped me back to reality. Your real husband has returned. I immediately opened my eyes wide. What's going on outside? Tell me quickly. The system paused for a moment, as if organizing its words, and then began to vividly describe the chaos outside. After leaving the warm, love-filled bed you two shared, Xiao Qinglin got dressed and opened the door, only to see an unbelievable person outside. It was Jiang Helian. He was sitting in a rather dejected manner at the doorway. No one knew how long he'd been there. He was still carrying the traces of wind, frost, rain, and dew, and after rushing on the road for so long, he looked exhausted and travel-worn. When he heard the sound of the door opening, he moved. He lifted his head and looked at Xiao Qinglin. What kind of eyes were those? Bloodshot from exhaustion, they held 3 parts hatred, 3 parts regret, 3 parts murderous intent, and 1 part pain. He stared intently at Xiao Qinglin for a long while before getting up from the ground. The two of them faced each other in silence. Xiao Qinglin was the first to move. He closed the door and softly said to Jiang Helian, Let's go farther away to talk. He knows he won't be able to take it. The system imitated Xiao Qinglin's voice, even deliberately making it sound deeper, clearly getting carried away with the performance. The two of them silently left the small wooden cabin and headed into the mountains. As soon as they arrived, Jiang Helian was the first to make a move against Xiao Qinglin, landing a heavy punch squarely on Xiao Qinglin's face. Xiao Qinglin didn't fight back. He touched the spot where he'd been hit and blood appeared at the corner of his mouth. This time, I owe you one, but next time, I'll hit back, Xiao Qinglin said. Jiang Helian's eyes were red and his voice was hoarse. Back then, I only asked you to tell him I'd gone to the capital, to comfort him, and take good care of him. How did you do it? Xiao Qinglin replied, When it comes to taking care of him, I really did my best. He told me that he likes his current life much more than before. When did I ever say that? I have absolutely no recollection. Could it be that I blurted it out when you pressed me on the bed and I broke down? I can't be sure, but at least when I was sober, I never said that. Jiang Helian struck again, throwing left and right hooks, kicking up and down. The two of them were fighting, evenly matched. The two of them are still fighting, still going at it. I've already gotten up, and I'm sunbathing in the yard, and those two are still fighting. During this time, someone even brought me food, and told me that Xiao Qinglin had gone to town to buy things for me. Just from the voice, I guessed it was the subordinate who had been talking to Xiao Qinglin. The system continued to describe how he watched me eat, then left with a speechless expression. Judging by his route, he probably went up the mountain to watch his boss fight. I said, Xiao Qinglin is really considerate. He even knows not to let me go hungry. The pancake you're eating was bought by Jiang Helian. The two of them paused their fight to discuss what you should have for lunch, then had that subordinate shrimp deliver it to you. After delivering it, they went right back to fighting. You really are a giant baby. I replied matter-of-factly, who told me to be blind? Do you expect me to cook something for myself with those outdated kitchen tools? Both Jiang Helian and Xiao Qinglin are quite skilled fighters, and they're both fighting as if their lives depend on it. They've long since thrown any sense of ruler and subject etiquette or attempts at persuasion out the window. All they can think about is beating the other to death, so there won't be any more trouble afterward. Jiang Helian didn't want to recall any of it. Last night, after days of traveling without rest, she didn't stop for a moment. In fact, just to see her wife sooner, she left her subordinates behind in the middle of the night, returning to her familiar home full of hope. But what she heard in the end was, he sat outside the door all night. It actually wasn't cold, but he still felt chilled to the bone. Jiang Helian couldn't stop regretting and blaming himself, angrily questioning why he ever thought that thief Xiao Qinglin was trustworthy. He had already sensed something was wrong back in the capital. He had been trying to speed up and resolve all those complicated matters, but there was always someone tripping him up, dragging things out until now, and after being ambushed on the road, he was even more certain of what he suspected in his heart. The crown prince, who was rumored to have no interest in women, must have set his sights on his wife. But what Jiang Helian never expected was that their reunion would be in such a sorry state. He hadn't closed his eyes for days, and his body was already pushed beyond its limits. The fact that he could fight Xiao Qinglin for so long was proof of his martial prowess, but in the end, he still fell behind. Xiao Qinglin didn't kill him. He still retained some sense, at most landing a few more punches on his face, at best, disfiguring him. But Yang Zi was already blind, so even if he was disfigured, he wouldn't be able to see it. Jiang Helian, gasping for breath, was still unwilling to give up, and tried to get up to continue fighting. Xiao Qinglin didn't take him seriously at all. Upon hearing from his subordinates that Shen Junyu had eaten everything, he finally felt at ease. Did you force him? Xiao Qingyun gritted his teeth. Not exactly, but maybe something even lower than forcing. Shen Junyu still doesn't even know whether he was his husband for those 5 months or not. Xiao Qinglin really didn't want to admit it, but even more, he didn't want Shen Junyu to find out. One wrong step leads to another. Just like him now, he couldn't understand why he had been so foolish back then to be someone else's stand-in. If Shen Junyu ever found out, his whole life would be ruined. I lied to him, Xiao Qinglin said expressionlessly. He still thinks you haven't left yet. Jiang Helian was stunned. The veins on Xiao Qinglin's face bulged, as if she was struggling hard to suppress her emotions. While facing a formidable rival in love, she had no choice but to bow her head, and admit that only by playing someone else's role could she win the affection of the one she loved. If his mental endurance had been any weaker, he would have dragged someone to jump off the cliff with him long ago. However, after hearing these words, Jiang Helian showed no sign of relief or happiness. Don't think he loves you so much. If he can't even tell when his wife has been replaced, it means he was quite satisfied with me too. As Xiao Qinglin said, what if, after comparing the two, Shen Junyu actually prefers the later version of me? That is to say, Xiao Qinglin. Just thinking about this made Jiang Helian's face turn deathly pale. He couldn't be sure, because after spending so much time together, he also knew that Shen Junyu didn't like him that much. No, that's not right. There was some affection. He liked his body, his skills, his thoughtfulness, his youth and strength, all of it. Isn't that just liking him as a person? He shouldn't be doubting his wife's love. He should be questioning Xiao Qinglin's methods. Someone who grew up in a place like the Imperial Palace, where people are eaten alive and not even the bones are spat out, would have 800 schemes behind every word he says, even down to the punctuation marks. Shen Junyu is such a naive, pure, kind, gentle, and lovable person. It's inevitable that he'd be deceived. Jiang Helian felt a surge of anger rising in her heart, all her fury directed at Xiao Qinglin, the so-called crown prince who stole another man's wife. Pah, crown prince. The people who made him crown prince must have had their brains hollowed out. Don't let him find out about this. He wouldn't be able to handle it. You know he wouldn't be able to handle it. But you still did it anyway. You never really cared about him at all. You never truly loved him. Xiao Qingling fell silent for a moment. I really wish I could go back and slap my past self. Ever since I accepted that I was Jiang Helian, there was no turning back, and I couldn't bring myself to say anything. Xiao Qinglin wanted to approach Shen Junyu openly and honestly with his true identity, to rightfully push Jiang Helian aside and take his place. After spending so many days and nights by his side, he became increasingly greedy. At first, he only wanted to stay by his side as Jiang Helian, but gradually, he began to long to stand openly and rightfully by his side, with his true identity. Ultimately, he was afraid that what Shen Junyu had always liked was Jiang Helian. Even if Shen Junyu couldn't recognize the person had changed, perhaps he had once been suspicious, but in the end, the idea was just too shocking and unacceptable. In short, Xiao Qinglin wanted to openly and rightfully steal him away with his true identity. The front door of my house was kicked down impatiently by someone. Immediately after, I was pulled into someone's arms. Xiao Qinglin silently picked up the fallen door behind us. Who would want a man who ruins things as soon as he gets home? Nestled in Jiang Helian's embrace, I could feel that her hug was really different from Xiao Qinglin's, warm, like holding the sun. But if it weren't for the system, it would have been hard for me to suspect the bad guy. No normal person would think of that, right? So what did you buy in town? I pretended as if I didn't know anything. Jiang Helian's eyes were red with emotion, her heart and mind filled with the person in front of her. She really wanted to tell her how much she missed her. But in his eyes, he had never left. Jiang Helian moved her lips, wanting to say something, but was interrupted by Xiao Qinglin beside her. Madam, sorry to intrude, but don't you know that when a couple is talking, outsiders shouldn't butt in? Jiang Helian held me tightly, gritted her teeth, and introduced, this is young Master Xiao. Do you remember the bride from a few months ago in our place? I nodded. Jiang Helian pursed her lips in displeasure, about to say something, but was interrupted again. Xiao Qinglin smiled and said, this time I've come, because there's something I need madam to know. Jiang Helian came back from the capital this time, just to take me back to the capital in grand style, as his wife. But this shouldn't be something Xiao Qinglin tells his wife. Jiang Helian hurried to speak before Xiao Qinglin could, saying, wife, listen to me, don't listen to him. I blinked my lifeless eyes and replied, all right, I'll listen to you. The system laughed. Haha, the villain's expression is hilarious. Jiang Helian, satisfied, glanced provocatively at Xiao Qinglin. I've regained the memory I lost after falling into the water, Jiang Helian said, using his prepared excuse. Now that I've found my subordinate, I'll take you to the capital so we can finally marry. When Jiang Helian said this, his eyes were shining as he looked at me. As long as we get married, everyone will know that he is my rightful husband. Xiao Qinglin is nothing, not even an outsider. This was my first night sleeping with Jiang Helian as a couple after more than 10 months. At his age, he's at the peak of his energy. Even though I had been rushing around for days and even got into a fight with Xiao Qinglin, I still couldn't fall asleep at night, tossing and turning. Wife, how do you feel about Xiao Qinglin? I don't really feel anything. I'm not even familiar with him. Jiang Helian was very satisfied with this answer, but then he became anxious again. Then do you like the me of today more, or the me from before today? Why do both of these men like to ask me this kind of question? Aren't they both you? Jiang Helian didn't know how to explain, so he could only mutter. It's not the same. The you today anyway is just saying whatever comes to mind, telling one thing to this person and something else to that person. Jiang Helian obviously got excited, hugging me and fooling around on the bed. Let me tell you, Xiao Qinglin is really bad news. You can't have too much contact with him. He's the current crown prince, just think about it. People who come out of the imperial palace are as scheming as they come. Not only are they ruthless and merciless, but they're also cold and indifferent, treating human life like it's worthless. Plus, everyone in the capital says he's impotent, that he has some physical defect, which is why he's so violent and cruel. I don't know about the other rumors, but that one is definitely fake. There's no way he's impotent. As the future emperor, he's bound to have a harem full of beautiful women and be a promiscuous man. We shouldn't even get close to men like that. What if we catch some filthy disease? I've stayed pure, only focusing on battle and training. With my clean background, you'll be my first. The prince has likely been with many others. Who knows what could happen? Next morning, Jiang Helian woke while he still slept. Maybe he really was exhausted from the day before. I lay beside him playing with his hair, and following my instincts, braided it. Just as I was about to let go, he grabbed my hand. Wife, are you picking a fight so early in the morning? I was just playing with your hair. How is that starting a fight? How can you blame me for this? There was a knock at the door from outside. Master Jiang, madam, it's time for your meal. Damn, this has to be on purpose. After packing up our things, we had to set out for the capital. Jiang, who stuck close to me, not leaving my side for a moment, and helped me into the carriage. He kept that man away from me the whole way. Jiang, he didn't ride. He stayed close in the carriage, brainwashing me about how awful Xiao Qingming was. When we first got in, Xiao Qingming even glared, showing off his big eyes. In the morning, he even called us to eat. His intentions couldn't have been more obvious. He just wanted to disturb our rest. The two of us, a young married couple, were sleeping soundly in our room. We didn't need an outsider like him to call us for a meal and make himself look important. Before we even got off the carriage, Jiang Helian's mouth hadn't stopped talking, and then we arrived at the inn to rest. Jiang Helian and I got a room. She took me upstairs to rest, then went to handle matters, leaving guards at the door to keep intruders out. Naturally, an intruder climbed through the window. The system chirped. The villain is here. I was speechless. Madam, sorry to disturb. Have you rested well? Xiao Qinglin sat down casually, as if making small talk. Your Highness, what brings you here? Xiao Qinglin smiled, his eyes glinting with a hidden sharpness. Madam, now that you are heading to the capital, are you truly planning to marry Jiang Helian? Forgive me for being blunt, but perhaps Brother Jiang is not the right choice. It may not be my place to say this, but I can't bear to see you jump into a pit of fire. The system couldn't help but complain. What a green tea act. He's putting on such a show that even I, a system, can smell it. Your Highness, why not just speak plainly? Xiao Qinglin feigned a helpless sigh. I only hope that you are not kept in the dark, madam. Jiang Helian once had a marriage in the capital. His family planned for his victorious return and marriage, but you became an unexpected variable. Lately I've been anxious about telling you everything, unsure if you'd believe me. Everyone in the capital misunderstands me, and Brother Jiang likely does too, probably speaking ill of me to you. But seeing that you, madam, are blind and have no one to rely on as you make your way, I fear you might be deceived without even knowing it, which makes me feel truly sorry for you. Now that you have entered the capital, I'm afraid you won't become Brother Jiang's wife, but will instead be wronged into becoming a concubine, or perhaps even something else. As Xiao Qinglin spoke, he kept observing my expression. I pretended to be stunned by what I heard, all the while thinking, why hasn't Jiang Helian come yet? I have no idea what kind of expression I should be making right now, or what role I'm supposed to play. If she doesn't come soon to interrupt this scene, I'm just going to say, I don't care anymore. Fortunately, Jiang Helian arrived. I heard her voice at the door, and then heard Xiao Qinglin stand up and say his farewells, telling me to keep her appearance a secret and so on, before climbing out the window. This guy really is something. He managed to slip out the window so cleanly and nimbly. With things controlled and Jiang Helian here, I'll just act as usual. The plot's so broken the system can't even recognize the leads. Who knows what's happening between them? The villain, watching you and the male lead, is so agitated he's tearing his handkerchief, and the system is nagging again. After spending so many days in a carriage, I've developed a deep hatred for this ancient era where nothing is convenient. I used to be a girl who loved traveling and exploring the outdoors, but now I'm so traumatized by long journeys that I just want to stay at home forever. When Jiang Helian finally said, "We've arrived," I let out a huge sigh of relief. Right now, all I want to do is lie down and give my poor backside a well-deserved rest. Because I couldn't see the road ahead, I had to let Jiang Helian support me as we slowly moved forward. Jiang Helian leaned down and whispered in my ear, "Don't worry, I've taken care of everything for you. After you meet my parents, I'll take you back to your room to rest. Don't be nervous, my parents really like you." Just as Jiang Helian said, the general's wife and the general were very warm and welcoming to me. The system broadcasted to me, "The male lead's family really seems to like you, except for the male lead's younger brother. In the story, the supporting male character who secretly likes the female lead doesn't seem to be very fond of you." Where did the female lead go? Can you ask the male lead about it when you get a chance? Since even the villain mentioned this engagement, there must have been something that happened before you showed up. If I'm going to die, at least let me die knowing what happened. At the very least, let me know where the female lead went. Changing locations really is much more comfortable. Although I was also waited on in that rural place, the conditions were still a bit basic. Here, even the things the maids use are of the highest quality. I've instantly become someone who lives in luxury, and even the bed I sleep on is much softer. Normally, the place I'm temporarily staying in should be my own residence, while Jiang Helian's quarters are elsewhere. But he never follows the rules, he just climbs through the window to hold me. I asked my mother to pick an auspicious wedding date. When the time comes, I'll prepare a courtyard and welcome you with a grand bridal sedan. Seeing me drift off, the system anxiously asked a question. Don't go to sleep yet. Ask him. Ask about the situation. So I asked, I heard that before me. You had a fiancé. Who said that? Who was gossiping about me in front of you? Jiang Helian gritted his teeth. Was it Xiao Qinglin? Right? Don't listen to other people's nonsense. I only have you as my fiancé. All that before was just rumors spread around the capital. Jiang Helian rubbed his face against my neck, aggrieved. As I got older, my mother naturally started to worry about my marriage. The Jiang and Gu families are old family friends, and since Gu Xining and I are close friends, my mother went to talk to them about it, but I didn't agree. I was completely unaware of this engagement from beginning to end. As soon as I found out, I immediately refused, and Gu Xining refused as well. Neither of us was interested in the other. I have no idea which idiot started spreading rumors everywhere, saying that I was about to get married to her. Don't worry, the person who spread the rumor was already dealt with by Gu Ximing. Only someone as twisted and filthy-minded as Xiao Qinglin would keep talking about these rumors all day long, spreading them everywhere. It's people like him who are the source of all the gossip in the world. I really can't stand people like that. Honey, you believe me, right? I really have nothing going on with anyone else. I'm such a decent and self-disciplined person. You know this is my first time. Jiang Helian, feeling even more wronged, kept mumbling as he reached out his hand. Even just asking casually isn't allowed. You must be doubting me. You can't doubt me. I'm such an honest, upright, and pure person. I'm nothing like Xiao Xiao Qingmin, who slithers around scheming, can't stand to see others happy, and loves to stir up trouble. Honey, your casual question today has deeply wounded my heart. Can't you give me a little something to make it better? Otherwise, I'll feel terrible inside. Recently, there's been a woman in the manor who's supposedly going to become his sister-in-law. Jiang Helian didn't really like her. In his mind, only someone as formidable as Sister Xinling would be a good match for his big brother. But this woman is just a country girl, and apparently she's even blind. She only saved his big brother's life, that's all. Could it be that big brother has lost his mind because of the life-saving debt? Does he really need to repay her with marriage? When he first saw Shen Junyu, Jiang Helian was indeed momentarily dazed. Her looks, figure, and overall bearing didn't resemble a country girl at all. She was actually quite attractive, but still not good enough for his big brother. In his eyes, only his big brother and Sister Xinling were a perfect match. Shen Junyu was just a pretty face, nothing more. How coincidental, Madam Suki, running into you here. Weren't you sunbathing in your own courtyard? What a coincidence meeting him here. Xiao Qinglin, his intent is clear. I stayed on the lounge chair, too lazy to move after the maid settled me. Xiao Qinglin sat beside me and peeled my lychees. Madam, have you asked Brother Jiang about his fiancée? I did ask my husband, and he said it was all a misunderstanding. Xiao Qinglin smiled and said, all heartless men in the world use the same excuse. Madam, you are a smart woman. Don't let yourself be deceived. Miss Gu from the Gu family, Gu Shining and Brother Jiang, grew up together as childhood friends on the frontier. There are many noble ladies in the city, but Brother Jiang treats only Miss Gu differently. This is something everyone knows. Their relationship is very close, and all of Brother Jiang's friends and family are aware of Miss Gu's special status. If you don't believe me, madam, you can ask anyone else for confirmation. I took the lychee she handed me, feeling troubled. I asked, then why keep telling me these things? What's your goal? Xiao Qinglin spotted the red mark on Shen Junyu's neck. His eyes darkened. Kneeling, he leaned close to my ear. I'm here to say, madam, you needn't settle. Power, status, money, or a sincere heart. Whatever you desire, I can give you, if you join me. What are you two doing? An angry voice cut in, startling me with its freshness. Angry and cornered, the youth still bowed politely. Greetings, Crown Prince. Xiao Qinglin stood firm. The young speak their minds boldly. Why stand so close to sister-in-law Chen? Xiao Qinglin frowned. On what authority do you question me? Gu Jiangxi asked sternly. Such behavior is improper and could ruin both your reputations. Xiao Qinglin's eyebrow twitched. Calling her sister-in-law is what's truly damaging her reputation. As expected, the Jiang family really is consistently annoying. After Xiao Qinglin left, I sensed that there was still someone else in the courtyard. Sure enough, Jiang Qi spoke up. As a woman, how can you be alone in a room with the crown prince? And to be so lacking in propriety, lounging so casually on a recliner? What kind of behavior is that? Who are you anyway? Just from your voice, I really can't tell. Jiang Qi was about to explode with anger, his lips trembling for a long while before he managed to squeeze out a few words through gritted teeth. Jiang Qi and Helian are my elder brothers, you know, my brothers, not yours. The way you're acting is truly disgraceful. Get up from that recliner and go inside at once. I replied, I can't get up. Call your brother over to help me up, will you? This is a rocking chair. It's swaying. How am I supposed to stand up steadily? My brother is busy with important affairs. Why would he come back for such a trivial matter? So you can't even handle such a small thing yourself? So naggy, you young old-fashioned stick. Just lend me an arm, will you? My leg's a bit numb from lying here. Ridiculous. I was startled awake by that shout, and Jiang Qi was nearly knocked out by my nonsense. This isn't like the mountains where there are no restrictions. Men and women shouldn't have physical contact. Since you've already agreed to a marriage with my brother, you need to keep your distance from other men, or else, if word gets out... What kind of talk is that? How could someone like Jiang Helian have such an old-fashioned younger brother? When it comes to being reckless, who could be more so than Jiang Helian, whose mind is always on those things? I'm different. Unless I actually touch something with my hands, I don't feel anything. So just leave me alone. Jiang Qi went and called a maid for me. This kid really is young. He was putting on quite a show, insisting on dragging me up. The maid supported me, and since I couldn't see, I didn't notice how she lowered her head shyly and didn't dare look at me when she saw my neck. Jiang Qi looked a bit puzzled. Following his gaze, he saw a scene that made him wish he could go blind. You and your brother, you two have gone too far. You're not even married yet. How can you be so reckless? Father, what did I do to set him off this time? Miss, second young master sent over a few books and asked the maid to read them to you. I was confused. That person had shouted that day and then stormed out. What kind of books could he have sent? If you lend me something to listen to, it's probably not anything good. I decided it was better to return them to him instead. At night, I whispered sweet nothings to Jiang Helian, asking her to tell her brother not to meddle with me. She agreed repeatedly, even grabbing my hand and pressing it against her abs. Wife, feel my abs. Haven't I been working out even harder? I touched them. They really were firmer. There aren't many people with a physique as good as mine in the whole city. I get up at dawn every day to exercise. That crown prince is busy with state affairs all day. Could he manage that? Under his fancy clothes, his body is probably just like a pale, skinny chicken. Not much different from yours. In order to give my wife the best experience, I must keep working out and maintain my best shape. Recently, I've even been using cucumber face masks, something I learned from my mother. I nodded in satisfaction. Her awareness is impressive. Even though I can't see, a man shouldn't lack what he ought to have. Jiang Helian gave me a kiss and said, I heard people say that famous 11 in the coming days will be traveling to the capital. When the time comes, I'll have someone invite him over to cure your eyes, so you can finally see what I look like. That's wonderful. While being blind has its comforts, it's not as good as seeing. The way novels describe stunning leads and villains, their incredible physiques, right now, I only feel them by touch, but seeing them would be far more intense. Madam, any change of heart? As soon as Jiang Helian left, Xiao Qinglin climbed in through the window right after, and, as if he owned the place, moved a chair over and sat down next to me. These days, second young Master Jiang has probably been bothering you quite a bit, hasn't he? That's his way of expressing his dissatisfaction with you. After all, in his heart, the sister-in-law he recognizes should be Miss Gu from the Gu family. Xiao Qinglin comes here every day, relentlessly, just to sow discord and try to steal you away. Even the people around Jiang Helian act like this. Over time, what do you think he'll start to believe? I'm afraid you don't know what happened today. Jiang Helian probably only told you he was going out to meet friends, but at this gathering, Miss Gu was invited, and all of Jiang Helian's friends and relatives present were men, except for that one young lady. Such a special presence. Madam, do you really not care at all? Xiao Qinglin was clearly a bit agitated today, probably because he's been coming here every day to check in, yet Jiang Helian and I still go about our lives as usual. Even though his married life is harmonious, at home he smashes several vases and tries to force himself into the role of a mistress, but he can't even manage that. Every day he goes into painstaking detail, asking what Jiang Helian is doing when I can't see her. Then he exaggerates everything, saying Jiang Helian is practicing martial arts at the factory, and twists it into her being aggressive and violent, looking like a domestic abuser, hoping Madam will soon escape her misery. Does Madam really like her that much? Xiao Qinglin is so angry she could die, clenching her fists, wanting to smash the table, but she doesn't dare. What if she scares Shen Junyu, and makes her think there's something wrong with her? Of course I like her. I leisurely listen to the system describe her expression. Her face is so dark it could drip ink, her emotions on the verge of collapse, as if she's about to tear the house apart. It was a long while before Madam spoke again. During that silence, Xiao Qinglin was doing her best to suppress her emotions and compose herself. Madam is such a good person. Since it's hard for Jiang Helian to take care of her alone, why not let me join as well? System, are you trying to make me the third wheel between you and the male lead? I always thought that, as the crown prince, he would at least have some self-respect. If I had been with the crown prince from the start, Jiang Helian might have secretly tried to become my lover behind the scenes, but Xiao Qinglin probably wouldn't have. That's why all along, he's been focused on sowing discord and trying to climb to the top. But unexpectedly, when he failed to take the top spot, he settled for second best. He actually took the initiative to bring it up himself. How inappropriate is that? This novel world is truly insane. Xiao Qinglin said. Why not? Madam is still young, there's no need to rush into marriage. If the two of you end up not getting along in the future, wouldn't that ruin the rest of your life? Why not indulge yourself once before marriage? You can only know which one is most suitable after you've experienced it. As Xiao Qinglin spoke, he undid his clothes and pressed my hand against his abs. I swallowed hard. This really isn't appropriate. Why do his abs feel even firmer than before? After returning to the capital, did he start working out even more? Xiao Qinglin kept holding my hand, his fair cheeks tinged with red, panting as he said, as long as Brother Jiang doesn't find out, it'll be fine. I'll keep it a secret. The people in the courtyard had already withdrawn long ago. How did I end up losing control that day? Why is my self-control so weak? I don't know if Jiang Helian noticed or not, but if he did, he would probably say something. Last time I didn't know what was going on, but this time, I'm fully aware. Oh! The sound of a body hitting the ground interrupted my thoughts. The maid beside me went to check what happened. The young lady is the eldest daughter of the Gu family. Doesn't that mean she's the female lead? Why is the female lead coming over?